Contender.
I agree. 3-2 Cincinnati Bengals, contender or pretender?
Pretender.
Pretender, I agree. I feel like they got lucky. They were able to exploit some bad mismatches, and I don't think their luck is going to continue. 3-2 Cleveland Browns, contender or pretender?
So are we saying contender for playoffs or for Super Bowl?
I was thinking about it for teams that could get to an AFC or NFC championship game, maybe playing the Super Bowl.
Okay, AFC championship, I'd say contender for Browns, even after that their defense giving up that much. I still like what they're doing.
Same, I think they're a contender as well. Then we're going to move on now to Tennessee Titans, 3-2, contender or pretender?
Contender if healthy.
I think they're a pretender, honestly. I really do. I think when your entire offense revolves around just your running back, and you, even though you got guys like Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, and they're not playing well, that's a real sign of an issue when you have a running back that can handle that load. I see more problems than promise with the Titans. I think they're a pretender.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening, but AJ Brown hasn't been healthy and Julio's been out, so they haven't really had their top two receivers, and that's always going to make things much more difficult. Definitely some cracks in the armor, and we'll see if it's stuff that they can fix or not. Because you're right, they do rely very heavily on Henry, so we'll see if they can be more dynamic than that.
All right, 4-1 Chargers, contenders or pretenders?
Contenders.
I think so too. 3-2 Las Vegas Raiders, contenders or pretenders?
Pretenders.
I think they're contenders to get into the playoffs. I think they're pretenders for having to put any real damage into the playoffs. Denver Broncos.
It'll be interesting to see how they respond to losing their head coach as well.
Yeah.
Obviously for good reason, as we discussed, but can still certainly shake things up as far as how you're playing and game plan and everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree. 3-2 Denver Broncos, contenders or pretenders?
Pretenders.
I hate to say it.
I don't think Teddy is enough. I think they've got all the offensive weapons, and I still see him struggle way too much.
I want to say they're contenders, but they're pretenders. All right. Here we go. 4-1 Dallas Cowboys, baby. Contenders or pretenders?
This is one I knew you'd bring up, and it's one I'm torn on because I think I lean contender, but I see some cracks in them as well that are concerning here and there. But so far, you'd be crazy to not say contender.
And do you mind me asking what cracks you've seen?
Just in the defense, sometimes in certain games they look very beatable, and then other games they look dynamite. So it's which defense is gonna show up, game to game.
See, for me, it's not even defense. It's literally just Anthony Brown. Like, he is so bad. Like, if they just had a corner that was maybe 3 Madden point ratings higher, they'd be great. They would be 5-0 right now if Anthony Brown was replaced by someone just a little bit better.
Maybe that's all I'm seeing is just him getting beat.
He's so bad.
I don't watch enough to know for sure.
He's so bad.
But yeah, I'd say contender so far. We'll see if I want to see them face another tough team, because obviously they went toe to toe with the Buccaneers, which is good, and probably should have won that game if not for a bad call. And then but I want to see them against some more competition. Like them beating up on the Giants isn't going to really impress me.
What about them beating the 4-1 Chargers? That's impressive. Them beating the them beating the, at the time, undefeated number 1 ranked defense Carolina Panthers. I think they've done enough to prove themselves that they are legit and for real. Are they going to have issues when they play against teams like even the Chiefs? It's going to be a shootout. What defense makes the one stop? It's going to be tough. But it's hard for me as a fan and someone just watching the games to say that they're not a legitimate contender.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
All right. The 4-1 Green Bay Packers, contenders or pretenders?
I mean, part of me wants to say pretender, but I don't believe it's smart to count out a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. So, struggling against the Bengals, I want to say pretender, but then, they'll come out and they'll destroy some other team and some other highly ranked team, and Aaron Rodgers will go for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns just because he got mad. So I'll say contender, but it's iffy. They certainly haven't done enough to help Aaron. I
think you and I are just standing on opposite ends of the fence, opposite sides of the fence. Pretty close face-to-face talking, because I lean slightly toward pretender because I've seen Jameis tear them up. I've seen them play close games against the Bengals, who I don't think are legit. I've seen Jair Alexander play like trash this year. Kevin King is trash. The defense is playing a lot worse than they should be.
Right.
And I don't think that is a fluke. I think that's their identity. I think Aaron Rodgers... he might not have necessarily mailed it in yet, but Aaron Rodgers is focused on getting out of Green Bay. Devontae Adams is focused on getting out of Green Bay. I think it's more pretender than contender at this point.
I think it's something like we know that they're not, what they were. It's just watching and waiting for the wheels to actually come off, and you got like a loose bearing, and it's like they're gonna come off, but is it this year or is it next year? And I mean, obviously it's gonna be next year no matter what, but is it gonna start this year, or are Aaron and Devontae gonna do that one last ride thing and try and get one more?
Right. We're going to move on. Chicago Bears 3-2. Contenders or pretenders?
Pretenders.
I want to say contenders because I like Justin Fields. I like Allen Robinson. I like Khalil Mack. I like Darnell Mooney. There's just not enough there for them to be contenders. There's just not enough there.
Yeah. Any team with a rookie quarterback right now is definitely going to be a pretender at best. There's just no rookie quarterbacks are really doing great. There's a couple doing that okay, and the rest are doing pretty poorly. So
right.
We'll see if Fields can get better, but either way, I don't see them being a contender this year. Maybe next season if Fields continues to improve. They've got a lot of nice pieces.
I agree. And we're going to move on. We got 5 more teams to get through. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4-1. Contenders or pretenders? Stupid question. Next team. Carolina Panthers, 3-2. Contenders or pretenders?
Pretenders.
I agree. That defense is a contender. The rest of the team is not. We're seeing...
And that defense, unfortunately, has had some bad injuries already. So
Yep.
We'll see if that remains to be a contending defense.
Mm-hmm. New Orleans Saints, contenders or pretenders, 3-2.
Pretenders.
They're the biggest pretenders in the NFL, in my opinion. We're going to move on. 5-0, Arizona Cardinals, contenders or pretenders?
Contenders, of course.
Obviously. And here's where we're going to disagree. Our final team, 4-1 Los Angeles Rams, contenders or pretenders?
I'm going to surprise you because they still are contenders. But I don't think they'll make it to the Super Bowl. I think they might make it to to the NFC Championship.
All right. I agree. They are contenders. Here's what I predicted before the season even started. I don't think I did it on the show. I definitely did it playing Warzone with my guys. AFC Championship is going to be Browns and the Bills. Right now, that's looking decent. Definitely the Bills. The NFC Championship is going to be the Cowboys and the Rams. The Rams are going to win. The Bills are going to win. Rams beat the Bills in the Super Bowl was my prediction. So far, it's all looking okay enough to come true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Yep. And that's it. Contenders or pretenders. Now, Super Bowl prediction, if you want to give one, NFC, AFC Championship game prediction, if you want to give one, what are your thoughts on our contenders?
Yeah, think about that. I mean, it's tough to say anybody other than the Bucks in the NFC. I'd say Buccaneers, Cardinals for the NFC ship, and for the AFC. I'm thinking Chargers and Bills, and then as far as who goes to the Super Bowl, I don't know if any team in the AFC can beat the Bills right now. As things stand, obviously, there could be injuries and there could be someone bursting onto the scene that's way better than anyone was expecting that could change a team. But yeah, I'm thinking Bills and then probably Buccaneers, but. And then, who knows who would win. I would, excuse me. I would obviously root against the Bills, but
you root for Brady?
Sorry?
You'd root for Brady?
Over the Bills, yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't be rooting for Brady as much as it would just be rooting for not the Bills.
All right. This week, I think we lose our last undefeated team. I think the Arizona Cardinals lose to a very frustrated, very pissed off Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns, by the way.
Ooh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. They've got the offense to do it. They should have the defense to do it. Either way, I think it's going to be a great game. I do think the Cardinals end the week at 5-1. And I think the Cowboys are going to take care of the Patriots for you, so don't worry about that. Trying to think of what other games there are going on. Is it the Eagles-Buccaneers this week on Thursday?
Yeah, and obviously the Buccaneers are going to win that. That's not going to be close.
By like 61 or something like that, yeah. Anyways, that's it. Anything more you want to say about last week or Contender Pretender?
No. Just looking forward to watching some more football.
As always, I certainly am as well. So our This Week in Sports History, as always, I found my information on onthisday.com. On October 10th, 1920, Cleveland Indians outfielder Elmer Smith hits baseball's first ever World Series Grand Slam in Game 5.
Nice.
There we go.
That's a cool one.
First ever World Series Grand Slam, October 10th, 1920. All right. Anything more you got to say before we finish this up?
Go Rangers.
Go Penn State. Oh, disappointed. The Cowboys are keeping me sane though. My football watching. Anyways.
I don't know that feeling.
Yup. Anyways, if you want to check us out on Twitter at Dan Tony, on Facebook we are Dan Tony Sports. For Dan, Tony, and Dan in spirit. Have a good night.